In Health Check this morning, about 1% of the population suffers from a chronic incurable autoimmune illness known as celiac disease. The only existing treatment is a gluten-free diet. This morning, Health Check 10 reporter Barbara Moore-Silva looks at why going gluten-free is not for everyone.
There was a time when you had to play detective to find gluten-free products. Not anymore.
We have beef and turkey gravies available. We have chips, snacks, salsas. We have some fine pastries that are very, very good tasting.
Gluten is a protein found in wheat, rye, and barley. That includes most flour, and therefore, gluten can be found in most anything processed.
Flour is used as a thickener, a filler. It's in so many processed foods. So it can be in deli meats, in bouillon, it can be in self-basting turkeys that you don't really think about, soy sauce, teriyaki sauce, communion hosts, lipstick, lip balm. You know, we swallow a little bit of that too.
Kathleen Lynch, a nurse at Roger Williams Medical Center, learned she was gluten intolerant when she was diagnosed with celiac disease 8 years ago. Leading up to that diagnosis by gastroenterologist Dr. Alan Epstein,
I felt so fatigued. I felt like I was dying. And I'm an oncology nurse, so I thought I had lymphoma.
So what exactly is celiac disease?
The small bowel is like a thick shag carpet. And what happens with people with celiac is instead of being a thick shag carpet, the gluten protein causes the villi, the carpet, to wilt away and become like a bad industrial carpet, flat, almost like a tile floor. And then you can't absorb all the nutrients you need.
When Kathleen first met with Dr. Epstein, she says she was emaciated.
I was very deficient in vitamins A, D, E, K, all the fat-soluble vitamins, so I had to replace those for about the first year. And I also had to get IV iron because I was so iron deficient.
These days, the screening test involves a pretty accurate blood test.
But the key is you don't want to remove gluten before you're tested because you want it to be an accurate test.
If the blood test is positive, celiac disease is confirmed through a biopsy of your small intestine. When Kathleen got her diagnosis, she went gluten-free immediately.
Just 3 days into a gluten-free diet, and I felt alive.
My daughter-in-law has celiac disease, and she was very, very, very sick to the point where she couldn't even stand up at one point.
That is perhaps why Raymond Lorenzo, store manager at Eastside Marketplace, is so proud of his wide variety and clearly marked gluten-free foods.
Right now at Eastside Marketplace, we have well over 1,200 items.
All gluten-free foods, including pizzas and pastries, usually a no-no, are clearly marked. That means they are not only gluten-free, they are not even produced where there may be a chance of cross-contamination. There's a reason why.
Because even a very small amount can make somebody with celiac disease very sick.
Kathleen knows about that. She has ingested gluten by accident a few times since her diagnosis.
I feel sick right away, so I know that I've accidentally had it. As soon as it was in my mouth, I felt a numbness and tingling on my tongue, and I also got a headache pretty immediately.
And while those with celiac disease applaud the wide variety and better tasting gluten-free foods now available, some are skeptical as to the motivation.
You wouldn't see a whole aisle in the supermarket dedicated to gluten-free foods if celiac were the only driver, because they're not marketing for the 1%. They're marketing to all the kinds of people maybe that really, what they really want to do is eliminate carbohydrates from their diet and eat a lower carb diet.
If that's your motivation, you should know you could be cutting out important nutrients.
Traditionally, your whole grains have had iron and B vitamins added to them. And the traditional gluten-free grains might not have the B vitamins, the iron added to them.
And going gluten-free just because you think it might be healthier will not be so healthy on your wallet.
Well, how much more do you think it costs you to shop than an average patient?
Oh gosh, I'm going to say upwards of at least $100 to $150 more a month.
So here are some take-homes. Celiac disease is serious. Over time, it can lead to malnutrition and, in rare cases, according to Dr. Epstein, cancer if gluten is not eliminated completely from your diet. It does tend to run in families. We're talking about celiac disease, so if one family member has it, it might be a good idea for other family members to be tested. For more on celiac disease, you can log on to turn10.com and click on Health. And that's Health Check. Barbara Moore-Silva, NBC 10 News.